So if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you're interested in finding out whether or not Shopify is worth it or not. And well, you're in the right place. I've been using Shopify for the last 5 years and really know quite a lot about the platform. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you the good about Shopify and the not so good as well. So hopefully I can help you figure out whether or not Shopify is going to be the right platform for you. Hey, if you're new here, my name's Chris Winter and welcome to my channel. I make easy to follow weekly videos on topics like affiliate marketing, selling on Shopify, becoming a YouTuber, as well as tips and tricks on how you can make more money. And my number one goal on this channel is to help you become a millionaire. And look, I'm gonna do exactly what I can to help you reach your goal. So if you haven't done it yet, please do subscribe. And also I'd absolutely love it if you leave a like on this video if you do enjoy it, because that's always appreciated. So let's now jump into the video and get started. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about in this Shopify review is the ease of use of Shopify. And this is definitely something that I've found to be really, really important, especially if you're a bit of a beginner in the world of e-commerce and developing websites. Now, Shopify itself is pretty much easy for anyone to use without the knowledge of coding. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later in the video, but essentially if you know how to use like a word processor, you know how to use your phone or even just your computer, you're really going to be able to know how to set up a Shopify store. Now, the great thing with Shopify is that it comes with themes or like kind of templates that you can pretty much just install. A number of them are free, some of them you can pay for, but even their free ones are really quite good. And I actually use quite a lot of the free themes and then just customize them a little bit. But Shopify itself is really quite easy to use. And then if you look at the dashboard, it's quite simple to see little things like analytics, when people are coming in, what time they're buying, and where maybe they're coming from as well, whether it's going to be from like a social or it's going to be coming from something like an ad. So overall, in terms of ease of use, I think Shopify is really easy, especially compared to how it used to be maybe 5 or 10 years ago with e-commerce, which was a lot different. That's basically when I started doing e-commerce. It was, you would have to use something like Magento, or you were using WordPress and then getting different plugins for e-commerce. And it was really expensive and it was really difficult. These days, Shopify is very easy for pretty much everyone to use. Now guys, I forgot to mention, if you do want to get a free trial of Shopify, I'll put a link in the description box below and you can check it out. They have a 14-day free trial. You don't even have to put a credit card in, and you can mess around with the site, try and get it as good as you can without ever having to put any money in. And if you like it, you can sign up. But it's really easy like that, and it's definitely one of the best free trials out there. Shopify is definitely pretty sweet. Another thing that I love about Shopify, and it's probably one of the best features on Shopify, is its app store. And it's essentially what you would think it is. It's a store where you can buy different apps or kind of plugins to really enhance your store. So the best way to kind of think of it is take like the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, where you can kind of download apps and you can use them. So for example, on a phone, you would use it to maybe have like a notes app or something like that. On the Shopify app, on the Shopify App Store, you can have a ton of different apps for all different purposes. So let's say you have a t-shirt store and you want to integrate a app that allows you to have print on demand, which is essentially a company who will print the t-shirts for you. They'll take all the orders, they'll deliver them. You can pretty much just plug and play in an app. For example, one that I use is called Printful. It's really easy. You can just install it, super easy, it's free, and then they just take a small commission. Other apps you can get might be like an upsell app. So if someone adds that one t-shirt to the cart, you can also get a app that will say in their cart, would you like to buy another t-shirt at half price? It's going to be a way in which you can maybe increase the amount of money that you're making through your Shopify store. But honestly, there are thousands upon thousands of apps, and it's really quite fun to look at. It can be a little bit daunting, and it can be very easy to try and add in millions of different apps. Generally, it's not a great idea to do that. You probably want to stick with maybe 5 or 10 apps at a maximum. Otherwise, you might be risking slowing down your site. But generally, I've found that there's a couple of different apps that I always love to install. Now, actually, I've got a few videos on my channel. If you do want to check out the apps that I recommend, you can just go to my channel and have a search. But definitely, that's one of the best features on Shopify. So I quickly talked about it before, but another really cool feature with Shopify is the ability to use different Shopify themes. These are kind of like a template. So essentially, it's a dressing for your website. So rather than building a website from scratch, which is what you might have done 5 or 10 years ago, where you're just doing everything from code, you can download these different themes or templates and really make your store look completely different, in just a few minutes without ever having to touch any code. So I use a number of the free themes on the Shopify platform. There's different ones like Brooklyn, which is one of my favorites. And you can see here that it's really quite nice. It's a nice looking website, and it really will get the job done without having to spend too much. Now, Shopify do also have apps that themes, that you can buy for roughly $100, maybe $150. And these might have a little bit more customization, and they might also be going for the look that you want to have. And in theory, it's actually quite a cheap price for getting a fully customized website that looks exactly the way you want it. But one thing I think is that you can use the free themes and they work just as well. Generally, conversions aren't going to be a massive difference. It's just whether or not you want it. But that is one of the nice things about Shopify, their themes. So like I said, with Shopify, you don't actually have to do a lot of coding. And this is one of the key things with Shopify that I really like, especially if you don't have any kind of knowledge of CSS, HTML, JavaScript, all of those kind of coding languages. If you just own a shop, or if you're just getting into the world of kind of web design and you don't really want to sink your teeth into learning hours of code, you don't actually have to. Now, Shopify does have its own coding language, which is called Liquid. If you know about it, it's going to be good. It's not super difficult to learn, but you don't actually have to do it. But if you do want to dive into it, you can do it, and then you're going to be able to adjust different things on your website. Now, I know a fair bit about it, but even myself, I don't consider myself like a full-on programmer. But really, it is quite easy using Shopify. If you just need to add products, you need to adjust the colors of your website. You really don't have to know any code. So it is one of the best things is that you don't actually need to have that much coding knowledge. Now guys, I was also thinking about making a video on Shopify versus Squarespace. Which one's the best platform for you to use for selling online? And if you'd like to see that, make sure to let me know in the comments below. So I want to talk about price now, and this is a pros and cons. Now, if you are just getting into the world of Shopify, you just want to start your business and you might not have a lot of money, Shopify could seem slightly expensive because you are going to be getting that kind of $29 a month every month fee. But to me, I actually think it's a really good thing because it's really just allowing you to get pretty much your store up and running with that theme, putting your products on there, and you're not going to have any hosting. Now, if you've ever heard about something called WordPress, which is pretty much the biggest website creator platform for the last 10 years, you need hosting as well with the website. You can't just have your own website, it needs to be hosted somewhere. With Shopify, it's all kind of integrated in that one fee. You also get pretty good support on that $29 plan, but of course you can also get a different plan, which is one up, which is around about $79. With that, you're going to be allowing, you're going to have a few more different options. You're going to get slightly better support, and you're going to be able to have more users on your site, so more people can edit the site if you have a larger business. For most people, $29 is going to be more than enough, and that's what most people do sign up with. I've got a thing where I can see who's signed up using my kind of like affiliate link, and most people do generally get that $29 plan, and even I use it as well. You don't really have to worry a whole lot about if you get a really large surge of traffic. It's not going to make a massive difference whether or not you have the basic version or you've got like an enterprise version. That's one of the great things with Shopify, is that it can really handle quite a lot of traffic even if you're not prepared for it. And that's what I want to talk about now, and that's the ability to expand. And this is something that a lot of people might not think about. I can understand that if you're just getting into the world of Shopify, you might not even get 3 or 4 people visiting your website a day. But it's important to know because it's happened to me quite a lot when something kind of goes viral. Maybe someone will link from a YouTube channel or an Instagram account, and you get like 10,000 people coming to your website at once. It's pretty fun when it happens, but you also need to know that your website's not going to go down because of that surge of traffic. So like I said before in the video, if you had something like WordPress and you had to host it yourself with someone like HostGator or Site5 or someone like that, or GoDaddy, generally what you're going to have to do with those ones is pay for a higher hosting service. And it can be quite expensive. It can be into the thousands of dollars a month. With Shopify, generally you're never going to have to really worry about that because they do their own hosting and it's all included in that price. Like I've said, I've had thousands of people on my site at once, and it's generally going to be pretty good. So you can kind of know that as big as you get, you're going to be okay. Of course, most websites won't get thousands of people on it at once, but it's always nice to dream, and it's always nice to be a little bit prepared for it. And I've found that Shopify is pretty good for that. And another thing I want to talk about is integrations, especially with payment providers. So it's really easy to integrate with things like PayPal and Stripe on Shopify. And they're the two that I would generally recommend for most people to integrate with their website straight away. You can also do things like Apple Pay, Google Pay as well. But generally, I'm going to be recommending using Stripe or PayPal. For most, I would recommend Stripe. I find that it's a really good company to work with. A lot of people do like to work with PayPal as well because pretty much everyone has a PayPal account. But I found that Stripe's got really quick payments, and you can kind of get the money out of your Stripe account a lot quicker than you can with PayPal, especially if you start making a fair bit more money. Generally, Stripe's going to be better with that, but it really is easy to integrate with Shopify. Shopify also have a thing called Shopify Payments, which is essentially Stripe in Shopify form, but that will allow you to get the money using Shopify Payments directly into your bank account as well. But that's only in a few countries. So I think it's in America, might be in Canada, and it's in Australia as well. And that's a really good feature as well. A lot of this might just be me talking very quick, and you're like, what is a payment processor and things like this. But this is just a quick kind of review. But overall, in terms of payment processors and payment providers, Shopify is very good for that. So as you can probably tell, I actually do really like Shopify. I think it's a great platform, and it's really grown really quite well over the last few years. Like I said, I've been using it for over 5 years, and when I first started with it, it was good, but it did have a few kind of issues, which they've really ironed out now. And there are just so many millions of stores using Shopify, and they're processing hundreds of millions of dollars every day. So if you are looking to sign up for Shopify, I'd probably recommend it. They have a free trial. Like I said before, I'll put a link in the description box below, and you can get a 14-day free trial. And sometimes you can even ask them for a 30-day free trial, which is a good idea as well. But it's definitely worth playing around with. And that's one of the best things with Shopify, is that you can play around with it, make sure that the store is really quite good, and you're ready to go before you have to pay anything. So overall, I would recommend it. And make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want more videos on it. I make tons of videos on Shopify, and I'll give you lots of tips and tricks, and I'm always sharing good apps that I like, which can help you make a little bit more money. So there you go, guys. That was just a quick review of Shopify. Hopefully that helped you even just a little bit.